Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the breakdown. I'm Tone, and it is really great to have you here with me once again. Today is day 10 of my self-imposed lock-in or lockdown against the mask mandate. Knowing full well that the mask isn't and was never going to prevent going to a stage 4. Now, be very interesting. I'm very interested to see what next week looks like and whether or not we reach our stage 4 by next week. I'm highly confident that that is going to occur. And as of tomorrow night, so it's Saturday now, but tomorrow night, midnight, all of Victoria goes into stage 3. Well, not necessarily a stage 3, but definitely a mask mandate. Now, of course, we went into a stage 3 in Melbourne before we went to a mask mandate. But the mask mandate is going to extend to all of Victoria. However, it's not really a stage 3 beforehand. Everyone is still able to go to and fro, not necessarily being told to stay in their homes. Just whatever you're doing, wherever you're going, make sure you wear a mask. I think that should be enough for people to start to realise that there's more to this mask thing than just controlling or trying to suppress the virus, because there's a difference in how it's being applied. I think that's important to recognise. I hope that that makes sense to most people, because we need to look at this thing logically. That being said, let me do some of these push-ups and we will continue to discuss. Now, before I continue, if you're ever going to do push-ups or any type of fitness, make sure you stretch before and after. Now, I didn't stretch effectively enough, and it's all knotted up in near the shoulders. So I have got nowhere near as much actual flexibility, because it's all knotted and knitted back together and shortened the muscles. So I can't actually get all the way down. Anyway, that aside, before coming to make this video, I decided that I wanted to share something important, reiterate something important that I talked about in a number of videos near the start of really getting this channel going. And that was, I wanted to talk about the elements of fear that are going along with all this COVID stuff. And in those videos, I spoke about not being completely consumed by this fear. We understand that there are risks in life, in almost everything we do. But by living in fear, it actually is like a cancer. It brings about anxiety. And like I said, that's the reason I say if you want to wear a mask and it helps you be less anxious about going out to doing the things that you really need to do, because granted, people are going to need to leave home to go do certain things. They can't stay at home all the time. If wearing a mask is going to help alleviate that anxiety, then by all means wear one. But I want to emphasize, don't be fearful. Fear is a cancer that's going to completely take over your life if you let it. And that's one thing that I've disliked about how they talk about the virus in the news, even from the beginning. So I just wanted to come against that as much as I can and say, don't be fearful of it. Now, just with every other risk, every other type of risk, we have to give it the respect that it deserves. And therefore, if we can do things that are, keep us safer and others safer, we most certainly should be doing those things. However, there's a difference between constructive and useful things that we can do that actually make a difference, and there are other things that just make us feel better, and then there's complete disregard for those safety measures or other people's feelings and that sort of thing. Now, understand that feelings are not truth, and opinions certainly aren't truth. Opinions can be based in truth. So we need to understand what this mask thing really is and what they are actually able to contribute to the reduction of the risk. So don't get caught up in the fear of all of this, because that's not going to help you or indeed anyone else. So I just wanted to cover that, reiterate that which I've shared before. Don't get consumed by the fear of this. Now I'll do a few more, see if I can get a little bit lower this time. We'll see how we go. I don't know if you can see, but I just can't quite get down. Boy. Right, so already covered what day it is. This is day 10. 397 cases today and 3 deaths, I think they said. So as I've spoken about in the days previous, I'm interested to see just how the numbers play out. And I'm also interested to see what happens next week after they bring in the mandate for the whole state. I'm interested to see what they do in terms of moving towards a stage 4 lockdown. They already talked about it for a long time. They've also spoken about how they want to avoid it. They want to avoid it. And I've made it clear that I don't believe that that's ever been the intention, to avoid it. And that it was always coming. And, well, like I say, next week I'm going to be very interested to see. Because, look, if it is the case that we go there, then I'm hoping that actually, I guess, helps make it clearer about whether or not my opinions actually hold any value. If we do the things that I'm predicting, then, there's something to what I'm sharing. And apply that, ruler, that idea to everybody you listen to. If they tell you something and then you see it come true, or, that it does come about in something quite similar to what they were describing, maybe they've got something valuable to share. And I'm doing this, putting my money where my mouth is, so to speak, because I thoroughly believe in what I'm talking about. And I want to help other people to see it from a perspective that they're not going to get, or are very unlikely to get, from other places, especially mass media. Always be wary that when someone wants to convince you of something, they'll bring you part truths and they'll mix it in with enough truth that it just seems like, maybe they tell you 3 things in a row and those things are true. By the 4th and 5th and 6th thing, people just go, oh, look, we can trust them. That's mass media. That's, the people in control of things. That's what they do. They get people's trust and then they can do what they like. It's something to be wary of. Look, just wanted to point that out. I think most people, do understand that. The silent majority of Australians, I think, do get that. But it's always good to repeat valuable information and truth. Oh boy. I tell you what, I think I've got my work cut out for me to do 50 push-ups every day. I'm going to have to work on stretching these muscles out again. Look, I think the main thing that I want to leave with you all before this video gets too much longer is continue to listen to everything that you're told, and really do your best to discern what you're being told, why you're being told it. Zoom right out as much as you can and look at the bigger picture, because you might be surprised at what you see and what you hear repetitively. And you'll notice that a lot of the repetitive stuff that you're hearing, we don't want to go to the next stage. We don't want to have to do this. We don't want to have to do that. And then no matter what they do, no matter what strategies they bring in, they still need to go to that next level. And then they have it in a succession that fits in fairly well with the 14 days that I've been talking about. Understand that I've been talking about this. 14 days is enough to see whether something is working. This is day 10. Cases are dropping again. It's going to be very interesting to see what the next few days look like. Indeed, next week looks like. If we have a spike in numbers next week, time it well with like Wednesday or Thursday or something, which is about 2 weeks after they brought in the mandate. Okay, no, sorry, we need to go and do an effective stage 4. Then we have a pretty good idea about exactly what these masks aren't doing. And we also have a pretty clear idea of what the strategy and what the plan was all along. Anyway, guys, look, that's really all I had to share with you today. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel if you find that what I'm sharing with you is of value, and please share it to other people if you feel that this is encouraging to you and could be encouraging to them. I'd really appreciate it. Take care of yourself, take care of others, keep in contact as much as you can on the phone. I was talking to a good mate of mine the other day, or yesterday, and I know that I really appreciated that call. I'm sure he did also. And it's good to keep connecting. Technology today gives us no excuse to not be connecting with those that we care about. So keep doing that, even though we can't go and see them in person. And hopefully this stuff is over soon, and we can go back to normal, not a COVID normal. Keep listening out for that term that they keep throwing about, COVID normal. And you'll get the idea that perhaps that's not far from where we're actually headed. And what that actually looks like, that's anybody's guess. I'm not going to speculate on what that really looks like. But I do believe that's got something to do with a vaccine and certain restrictions for people who don't get that particular vaccine. All of that stuff's going to pan out. Beyond that, I don't really want to speculate. But I think that's something we really need to be mindful of. But saying that, don't let that cripple you with fear. and at the same time, don't comply just because it's been told to be good for you. You know, it's just for your good. You can measure how you want to measure your own risk. This business they talk about on the television about their answer to people saying something about civil rights. That's interesting to me because they'll say, well, you know, this isn't about civil rights, which it isn't at this point. But they then flip it around and say, well, look, you know, you can't take the risk of other people's lives into your own hands. That's not your right to do so. And correct, that's true. But wearing and not wearing a mask really should not be in that list of adding to or subtracting to the risk. Being inside or outside, sick or not sick, that is what should be being used as the benchmark or the measuring tool into how much you are affecting other people's lives and the risk that you're potentially bringing to them. Being inside or outside is something that we can measure. Wearing the mask is not something that's, in my view, something that's even close to being allowed to be put into that list of things that we're doing in terms of bringing risk to other people. It just doesn't come into it because we know that it can't effectively do anything in terms of reducing the risk by any measurable amount. You understand that the only way to be completely risk-free is to stay at home. And they've been talking about that, but they lessened the amount that they were talking about that as soon as they started to push the mask. That's the point. Anyway, having said that, don't live in fear. If you feel safer and you feel that you're going to make other people feel safer by wearing the mask, by all means do so. You're also going to save yourself some money because the mandate's going statewide and you don't want to have to pay a fine. But wear the mask because you want to and because it makes you feel better and safer and makes other people feel safer. Don't wear it because of some sort of mandate. I mean, if it really did that and we knew that it did, people would just wear it, wouldn't they? And that's the truth of it. Thank you so much for joining me. I've allowed this video to go even longer. But I want to be encouraging. That's the main thing. I want as many of you to feel encouraged during this time because the way the media keeps pushing it, it just brings fear. And the number of people that they say, you know, in their older ages that are dying from this, I'm sure they are feeling a heightened level of fear. If they weren't already afraid to go out to do things in the way society sometimes is, this must just be crippling for some of them. So if you've got older generation people in your family and you haven't been able to see them, I hope you're keeping in contact with them too. That's something I have to work on. Yeah, I hope these videos are encouraging to you. Encouraging most of all to look into it and understand it the best you can for yourself. And then obviously you can make much wiser choices rather than just following like sheep and doing something and believing something that's being spoon-fed to you. We've got to be careful about that. Okay. Yeah, that's all I really got to share. Thank you so much for joining me on the breakdown. I'm Tone. As always, I really appreciate you joining me. Please share the video. I think I've already said that before, but please share it to those that you feel would be encouraged by it. And I'll see you all tomorrow for day 11. 2 weeks has almost gone really quickly. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens next week. But I'll keep you posted on what everything's looking like. But keep your ears to the ground for yourselves. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. God bless. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.